Pepsi welcomes you to Marine World Africa USA's 25th Animal-versary.
Thinking back 25 years ago, it seems like we were living in a different world. In 1968, America lost two of its leaders and elected a president who promised to end the Vietnam War. It was a time of some new beginnings. The first successful American heart transplant operation, the first flight of the Concorde supersonic jet. We went to the movies and saw a version of the future, and hair was all the rage, all kinds of hair. That's what I looked like back then. It was a different world just 25 years ago. Back then, we were just beginning to hear words like ecology and endangered species. So when a modest animal theme park opened south of San Francisco, not much notice was taken. But with the passing years, as this park has grown, an idea has grown along with it. And now a generation has grown up with a new understanding of our relationship to the animal world and our Earth. I'm Steve Fox, and we are all about to embark upon a wonderful journey through 25 years of marine world's history as we tell the stories of the people and the remarkable animals of this park, the only one of its kind in the world. Now that was music. You may not recognize that particular recording group from the 1950s, but I think you'll be interested in meeting one of these singing kids from Philadelphia when you find out what he's doing here at Marine World today. He has been at the park since the day it opened, and they still have not asked him to sing. Here he is, Jimmy Mullen. Back east in the early 60s, Jimmy made records and sang backup for Fabian and Frankie Avalon. Until one day he took a part-time job preparing fish to feed the dolphins at a small marine park. Slowly, and quite unexpectedly, there seemed to be something about being around those dolphins that increasingly interested him. To make a long story short, Jimmy soon gave up his singing for working with dolphins, and in 1968, the year Marine World opened, he came to California to join the park. After more than a quarter century, Jimmy remains genuinely enthusiastic about working with these intelligent, fun-loving, and sometimes mischievous dolphins every day.
Well, these guys never cease to amaze me. They'll pick up any subtle nuance that I give them, and they're very inventive individuals. I always like to keep them guessing. They never know what I'm going to be doing. Do you know? Do you absolutely know? Okay. Each one has their own personality. I love each one for what they are and what they possess, and each one does look different to me, yes. You want to see, I love this. All right, everybody wave. Come on, everybody do it. All 10 of you. Never studied philosophy or psychology, but yet I use it almost on a daily basis with these guys. And I think that's a challenge to me every day, is trying not to outthink them, but trying for them not to outthink me. In the days when I used to sing, I used to go out there, I was in the spotlight. When I go out there now, they're in the spotlight. I'm just I'm an extension of them. I'm part of their team. I'm the choreographer. I have to make them do something, even though they're doing it, but I got to coordinate it. I have to be able to make the judgments on how well they're doing, who's falling behind, who's getting a little higher than someone else. I feel like they are teammates. I'm a part of them, they're a part of me. If someone is sick, or if they pass on, it's felt. You lost. Not only did you lose a friend, but you lost time. You lost time that you had pledged to that animal. I think the highlight of my 28 years of doing this, I've never had an opportunity to work with a baby, a youngster that was born. Here's one that I saw. He was born here. I watched how quickly he could pick up things from everyone. So this is a first for me, and all the time I've been doing this. And I got two babies here. What do you want? You want to be petted? Okay, there you go. Little chin rub. And what do you want? Your belly rubbed? Well, to think 28 years ago, I gave up a career of singing to do this. And you know what? I think I made the right choice because I've been accepted into their singing group. Let's hear you. Come on. Let's hear you sing with me. Sing with the leader. Yeah. Oh.
You are looking at one of the original teams here at the park. Sonny Allen and Yaka the killer whale have been together for a quarter of a century. Nowhere is there a longer relationship or a closer bond between a trainer and an orca.
Come on, you guys, let's go. Come on, let's go.
For 25 years, Sonny Allen has started his day with a bucket of fish and a couple of old friends, Yaka and Vika.
That's our good girl. Yeah. Come on over here. When I come in the morning, I try to get a sense, a feel of what went on between them throughout the night, how they're doing that morning, their attitude, their disposition. Are they in a good mood? Are they in a sulking mood?
Yaka was among the original animals at Marine World, and Sonny has been with her from the very beginning.
First time I met Yaka was in 1969 in Kinder Harbor, British Columbia, and I just couldn't believe the magnificence and beauty of the animal. The personality changes that she has gone through is just like the same personality that a child would go through. But what I feel is that she does know me personally by touch, by feel, just by my body mechanics. And she does recognize me. She'll show certain signs that I know where she's very happy that I'm around.
What's up, girl?
Never was Sonny's presence more important to Yaka than 8 years ago when Marine World had to relocate. It was an emotional time for everyone involved. Yaka was being eased onto the sling when she accidentally swung her giant fluke. It hit Sonny.
It was very exciting up until the point that I got knocked out by Yaka. It was just because of a misplacement of some of our staff, and it's not the animal's fault.
Sonny was rushed to the hospital with a mild concussion. When he arrived at the park in Vallejo, he found both killer whales safely moved to the new home he helped build for them.
My goal was to build these animals a bigger environment so that they would be a little more happier and have a lot more room, and I'm still not done yet.
You've heard us talking about coming face to face and closer than ever before. This is as close as you can come. We ask that you welcome Sonny Allen and Little Vika.
At each show, Sonny is aware that some visitors might be seeing killer whales for the very first time, and he hopes what they see and learn
In
will
your
stay
visit
with
to
them.
Marine World, we hope to share much of what we have learned about the animals.
When people walk into this show area, they expect to be entertained. But what we do, and we do it very subtly, is entertain them, but we also educate them.
Always keep your eyes on the killer whales. You never know when or where that'll happen. Now, it could happen in the wild because it's a natural behavior called breaching. It's how killer whales scratch themselves.
So if we can do the both and have these people walk out of here with a sense of a good feeling or just even one thing that's stuck in their head about the whales or dolphins, we've achieved something, because without the public's awareness of what's going on, these animals would still be slaughtered today.
Sonny Allen has devoted his life to Yaka and Vika. In return, he has earned the trust and affection that makes this working friendship possible.
It's a 50-50 relationship. It's like a family. It's like working with your coworker. And once you establish that, there isn't anything that the animal or animals will not do for you, because there is a respect and a love between the two of them. And there is a love, a very, very strong love.
Oh, I love them very much. They're my life. They're a part of me.
Now, there is a third element to the human-whale relationship here at Marine World that very few people know about. This is the very wet Dr. David Payne, I might point out, a marine biologist. Spent thousands of hours studying these whales here at the park and in the ocean around Vancouver Island, Canada. Why study in both places?
The good thing about studying them at Marine World is you can see all the details. You can watch them 24 hours a day. You can see everything they do. You can hear everything they say. In the wild, you can get the big picture, but you really can't see the details.
Well, what have you been able to learn by studying them here, specifically?
One of the studies we've done is looking at their vocal behavior. We found that when Vika arrived, her sounds were as different from Yaka's as English is from Chinese. But after they'd been together for a couple years, they'd learned the sounds that each other make, and now they can talk to each other as though they'd grown up together.
They learned how to talk to each other.
Yes, they did.
What do they say? They say, let's go up to the surface, let's go look for fish?
No, they seem to talk more about their emotional states. Like they've got some sounds that they usually do when they're very relaxed, other sounds they do when they're very excited, and some other sounds they use when they're somewhere in between.
There's no let's go get some dinner sound.
No, it doesn't seem to be. You know, they use sort of the same sounds for let's go get dinner and let's go play.
Great, thanks.
I work with everything from little tiny button quail all the way up to, of course, the elephants and the whales. And so I have to know how to work with birds and reptiles, with the elephants, with the large exotic cats and the smaller cats too. And I also need to know how to work with the marine mammals, dolphins and sea lions and seals. And they're all very different. Looking good.
See you next time.
All right, see you later.
The work is always unpredictable, like giving a pedicure to the park's Barbary sheep.
Hi, Matilda. How's Matilda today?
Or visiting a friend who's almost ready to have her bandages taken off. Laurie's work could be much more difficult, but many of Marine World's animals are actually trained to help her help them.
I can take blood on all of our elephants very simply. They just lift one hind leg and stand on the other one, and I'm able to reach in under the hind leg and take a blood sample. And it seems very painless to the elephant. They mind it a little bit, but just as we mind it a little bit, but it isn't an awful large pain to them. And they allow me to take a blood sample. So I do this about every 6 months on our elephants just to make sure that they're healthy and that their blood is normal.
Of course, like any doctor making a house call on a 6,000-pound patient, Laurie brings something to eat.
Good girl. You're very brave, a very brave patient. Hi, Kirk.
Hi, Dr. Gage. How are you?
Jolynn, how are you today? How's she doing?
She's doing pretty good.
Great.
She's doing good.
Primate medicine is a lot like human medicine. They get similar diseases, and I think they're probably easier for me to treat because they're so well trained. I think probably human children are not nearly as good patients as our primates are here at Marine World.
Over the last 25 years, Marine World has had an ongoing program to care for and rehabilitate sick or injured dolphins, whales, and porpoises that strand along the California coast. The most famous was Humphrey, the wayward humpback whale, who required assistance from Laurie, people from the Mammal Center, whale experts, and even the Coast Guard to eventually find his way back to the ocean, not once, but twice. A couple of years ago, 2 gravely ill whales beached themselves and were brought to Marine World. It was discovered that they were a little-known species so rarely encountered that few experts had ever even seen one alive. Laurie and a team of volunteers gave the whales round-the-clock intensive care. Though they survived for 3 weeks, finally, almost inevitably, they succumbed to their illnesses.
I think the next time that we get a sick or injured baby whale or dolphin, we'll really be much better able to treat it, and I think we may be able to save the next one. I'm really lucky. I get to do exactly what I've always wanted to do, to be a veterinarian and to help animals. But even more importantly, I get to experience these beautiful creatures every day.
The family of primates here at Marine World Africa USA began with a few chimps in 1972 and has grown to 7 chimpanzees, 2 orangutans, and 4 baboons. Their personalities are each quite different, but I think you'll discover they are all enchanting in their own way.
I want people to feel that they're totally immersed in the environment of the animal, where they'll turn a corner and all of a sudden they'll go, oh my goodness, there's a group of chimpanzees playing on a hill, or a group of chimpanzees swinging in a tree, or a couple of orangutans swinging in trees or swinging on ropes, or a group of baboons playing or fighting over something. They're in a different world, and that's how I'd like people to feel.
They call it their vision, their dream. For Liam, Kirk, and Kevin, building a natural primate habitat is a chance to give something back to the creatures they've grown up with. It's important because Patty, Maggie, Jolynn, and the others are more than just adorable entertainers. They're family, bound by the same friendships, history, and loving concerns you'd find in any home.
we've basically grown with them and grown as a family unit. The chimps being a real social animal, it's one of the best ways to integrate yourself with them is to actually become part of their unit, and that's what we've done. And we've watched them grow, and we've watched them develop both as, you know, by themselves, as individuals, and also as a family unit, and that's really important to us. Come here. This is Teely. She's 6.5 years old. She's kind of going into her teenage years right now. She's going through a lot of changes. She's a bit crabby at times, but she's a really good chimpanzee.
Liam Hussey is the senior primate trainer at Marine World, and together with his wife, Kim, they train and care for 7 chimpanzees, a generation that began with the first chimp born at Marine World, Patty.
This is our lazy chimpanzee, Patty. Come here. It'll take her a little while to get down here.
Rejected by her natural mother, Patty was raised by surrogate moms who spent 24 hours a day taking care of Marine World's first baby chimp. She was one of several chimps to grow up with Liam and Kim, who have over the years developed a personal attachment to them that is much like parents to their children.
There's a huge bond, and we raised them from babies. We changed their diapers, we stayed up with them when they were sick. You have to have the bond, you have to know the animal's personality more than anything.
The latest youngster in the group is Maggie, and she's living up to all the expectations that come with a 2-year-old.
She's 2.5 years old, and she's very comparable to a 2.5-year-old human child. She throws tantrums, she loves to play, she'll go nonstop for 24 hours a day if you let her.
But along with the usual chaos came something unexpected. Patty, now a teenager, started to behave like a mom.
Patty carries Maggie around a little bit. She takes care of her. If Maggie gets frightened, a lot of the times, instead of running to us, she'll run to Patty. And that's really important as well, because what we'd like to do in the future is maybe have Patty become a mother of her own chimpanzee.
Hey, Drake, get up! Johan, get up here, don't worry about it.
As the man in charge of the new kids on the block, Kevin Keith is part acrobat, part traffic cop, and part monkey. His role, group leader to 4 baboons.
Cyrus here. No, Drake, sit. Drake, sit. Johan, sit. Oh, I love this, yeah. It's not actually, I mean, you get used to it.
Kevin is still getting to know his new group of rascals, but after working with the chimpanzees, he does notice a difference.
The biggest difference, I'd say, their energy level. Drake, no.
Come on. Come on, girl. Come on up here. I'm the only one that takes care of Jolene full-time. So by working with him that much and being around him that long constantly, you can't help but develop an incredibly close relationship with him. In some ways closer than you would with your own husband or wife at home.
For the last 7 years, Jolene the orangutan and her inseparable companion, Kirk Loveland, have been a familiar sight at Marine World. Kirk is Jolene's trainer, surrogate parent, playmate. Jolene is quite simply Kirk's best friend.
At times, she's real friendly and real playful, and she can't get enough play. Whereas other times, she prefers just to be left alone, just to do her own thing, and be a solitary animal like she would out in the wild. You can't help but get close to an animal like this. And all you can really hope for is that with all that she's given me and that all that she'll continue to give me, that it's my responsibility. I don't have a choice. I have to give her the best I can possibly give her.
Like all good parents, Kirk, Liam, and Kevin want to prepare for their family's future. And that means building the habitat, a natural exhibit where the primates can live out the rest of their lives, and at the same time, where people can see them just being themselves.
Personally, what I would like to see with the chimps anyway is a second generation. I'd like to see Patty as a mother. I'd like to see her raising her own babies. And for that to happen, I think it's almost imperative that we have something like a primate habitat, so we have the room to expand what we have now. I mean, they give so much, they really do. I mean, in a positive way, because they enjoy what they do, but they do give a lot, and it's really important for us to feel that, you know, when it is time to retire, when it is time for them, you know, their golden days, that they do have a nice place to retire in, some place that they can feel real comfortable in.
This beautiful cat is an African cheetah. His name is Arthur, and he was named after an exotic animal veterinarian in South Africa that's done a lot of cheetah research. It's been a privilege to be his trainer for 12 years, and I think we've made a pretty good team. What do you think, Arthur? Can you hear him purr? Good boy, good boy.
So you are saying to me that there's no time today to see the dinosaurs, no time. When do we get to see them?
Well, my friends and I are going to see them first thing tomorrow morning.
You're going to what, hang out at the front gate all morning?
Tomorrow morning? No, I don't think so.
So how are you going to be the first ones to see them?
I don't have to answer any of your questions. It's a big secret. Sure. I'm not going to tell you.
You're going to hide out in the park all night.
You'll never know. Ha, 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 ha.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. One of the other major attractions here at Marine World Africa USA is the tiger family. Perhaps no place else can you see as many generations of Bengal tigers up close as you can at this park.
I still remember being amazed during my first visit to the park years ago. I couldn't believe how close you could get to the animals. There is a legacy here of tiger-dedicated trainers that seems to flourish with each successive generation of tigers. And the park's visitors get to enjoy and marvel at the remarkable interaction between tiger and trainer. During his 15 years with the park, Pat Martin-Vegi has cared for dozens of tigers, often overseeing as many as 3 generations of a family of Bengals at one time.
Oh, and this is Mohan. Mohan is a very old male. He's 18 years old. And he weighs about almost 500 pounds right now, and he's fathered about 50 cubs in his lifetime, including Baghdad's world record of 8 cubs. Oh, it's getting heavy, Modi.
As you can see, what sometimes can appear to be some pretty rough and tumble play here on Tiger Island is really an impressive demonstration of the relationship of trust, which is shared during lifelong care of each animal.
Oh. Oh, you're a fat cow.
For veteran trainers like Pat, that bond begins the day the cubs are born. In an extraordinary display of mutual trust, Pat is allowed by Baghdad to enter her den box to visit her and inspect her newborn cubs. Even before their eyes are open, these cubs will begin to become familiar with Pat's voice and his presence. Soon, in the park's animal nursery, Mary Fleming will take over. Here the cubs are bottle-fed and given 24-hour care.
This is part of the day. We make sure that they all get handled and individual time spent with each one. Quality time.
As they grow, the cubs' world begins to grow, and they are taken around the park for walks to accustom them to new experiences, to their trainers, surroundings, and to meeting the other animals. Now, Pat's prime responsibility and best wrestling buddy is Samson, the 5-year-old white Bengal superstar at the park. And when you're a star, you get to play anywhere you'd like to. When the park is closed, you even get to mess around in the children's playground, where, mysteriously, lots of green balls have been found all chewed up recently.
And he has a couple friends, Tara and Jai, who are a little bit older than he is, 2 females. And those are kind of his older girlfriends that he likes being with.
There is an area of the park, a place the public never gets to see, that has been left in its wild state. And here in 40 acres of open land, a chance for a tiger to stretch out and for us to enjoy the joyful sight of a rare white tiger's sleek majesty at full run.
Lay down, good boy. Samson here, we've had him at the park since he was about 4 or 5 weeks of age, and I really love this tiger. We've seen him grow up and seen him father a lot of cubs. He's fathered 9 babies here at the park. And he comes out here every day on Tiger Island with all his babies, and it's really a lot of fun to watch, and I really love this guy. Good boy.
As we watch the interaction of these wonderful animals and their lifelong companions, like Pat, It seems that if the tigers can learn to live with man, as they have here at this wildlife park, we should be able to learn how to help these big, beautiful cats survive in the wild.
It is believed that the average American moves 12 times in the course of a lifetime, while the average animal park moves not at all. And this is a good thing, because moving an animal park can be a major feat, just as this is a major nose and a major mouth. However, back in 1985, Marine World had no choice. They had to relocate. This is, however, not so much a story about moving this vast menagerie as it is about one man, the guy behind the vision that motivates this park, a fellow who is something of a rare breed himself.
He is Mike Demetrius, the president of Marine World Africa USA. But despite his master's degree in business from Harvard, he is hardly a typical corporate executive. On any one day at the office, he might be seen comforting a baby chimpanzee between phone calls, or taking a meeting with a cheetah. When he took over Marine World in 1974, it was not doing well, and Mike was faced with a very real challenge to turn the situation around. Then in 1984, when things were looking brighter, Mike's commitment to the park and its animals was put to the test. An option on Marine World's land was exercised, which meant the park would have to close or somehow find a new home, and fast. To save the park and its animals, Mike fought for an extension on the lease to give him time to raise money needed to move the park. He mortgaged his own house to help finance the relocation, and happily, the city of Vallejo did the rest, offering an ideal new park site. You may recall what happened next. The actual transporting of 500 exotic animals in an unprecedented relocation of an entire animal park attracted national attention and turned into a memorable event in local history. But before you can move an animal, somebody has to catch the animal. Even after all the birds have been carefully wrapped in their bags to go, and the elephants have been marched into some trucks with very good springs, there were still hundreds of other animals to transport. So an ocean-going barge that could accommodate a large number of critters was booked for a cruise up San Francisco Bay, a trip that naturally came to be called Operation Animal Ark. To catch the early tide, the animals were loaded at night. They set sail at dawn. The fortunate people that happened to be cruising on the bay that day were treated to a most unusual sight. Golden Gate Bridge in the background, the Animal Ark sailed on its way north, safely delivering its unique cargo to Vallejo. In its new location, the park would be owned by the nonprofit Marine World Foundation, an organization Mike created to help educate the public about the animal world and to continue animal research projects around the world. For Mike Demetrius, a funny thing had happened on the way to success. This businessman fell in love with a bunch of animals and with the people who train and care for them. The animal professionals refer to it as getting bit. Well, Mike was swallowed whole.
Having animals like this is a matter of trust. We have a responsibility to learn as much as we can about them and to put that knowledge to good use to better their lives in captivity and in the wild.
And it's got the back like a cat, and the head is just a little bit bigger. It's got a lot of hair on it.
Teachers have an old saying about how to reach children. It goes, tell me and I forget, show me and I remember, involve me and I understand. And that happens every time a class of school children visits Marine World. And for some, like these Santa Rosa students from Whitehead School's visually impaired class, it means experiencing a whole new world.
Something like kind of a rubbery texture.
They're picking up a lot more than we pick up when we touch an animal. They're just more accustomed to finding information out using their hands and using touch than we are, and get a feel for what the whole animal looks like when they're just being able to touch a small part of it sometimes.
The tail feels like a potato chip, and the stomach feels like little squares of glass or plastic.
I think these kids may have an advantage over all of us because they use all their senses, and we're not in the habit of using all of our senses. And they use them to a much greater extent, and it really helps me when I go out with a group like this to renew my interest and renew our interest in our other senses.
The dolphins usually go, and then also they make a, and kind of a creaking sound. The way the dolphin's blowhole sounds, it just goes. And the whales goes. Whoa, it's humongous.
Now, can you feel those little bumps right there where your fingers are?
What,
Feel some
these?
little bumps?
Yeah.
Now, that's where her whiskers were. You know, all mammals have to have hair at some time during their life.
I thought she had like I thought she was getting
Acne?
sick or something.
No, no, those little were where her hair used to be when she was a little teeny baby whale.
It's really soft.
Now reach out. See, that's his horn. Having kids have the chance to touch Daruba, the rhino, is one of the most fun things that we do here. I mean, the rhino is such a endangered animal. Now, that's one of the main reasons rhinos are endangered, is that horn right there. People think that that has magical powers and they'll grind it up and make medicines out of it. To have them be able to touch a little baby rhino and see what the horn feels like, and that's really exciting.
He didn't smell very good.
And then,
No, he didn't.
And how he sounded, he goes.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like a baby cat. That's what it sounds like.
And then his skin was kind of like living sandpaper, only a little hairy.
Being around live animals is not like anything else in the world. I think all kids leave here with a greater understanding of wildlife, and I think it's really important for kids to have that. They need to care about the world and care about the animals. They leave here with such a good understanding of how our world all fits together and how, you know, people and animals depend on each other.
In an effort to reach even more young people with the story of their animals, the trainers have taken them on visits to over 1,000 schools. Since 1979, the School Assembly Safari has reached nearly 1 million youngsters. Each day of the school year, somewhere in Northern California, Karen Povey brings a select group of animals to visit some lucky children.
I really appreciate you staying so quiet. It's real important with her, and you're doing a fantastic job. Snow leopards are really special cats. One reason for that is because of the place where they live. Snow leopards live in the highest mountains in the world, the mountains of Asia. It's very cold there, it snows a lot, and the cliffs are very steep and rugged. Tasha is a very special cat to us. Tasha is special because she was born with a handicap. Tasha was born completely blind. She will do anything that she would do if she could see. So please don't feel sorry for her that she's blind and think she has a hard life. She really gets along great.
Animals and young, curious minds seem to go well together.
About how many of these guys are left in the wild?
Our guesses range anywhere from 1,000 to maybe 5,000 because we just don't have any idea. It's so hard to study them. But the one thing we do know is that they're still disappearing fast because we're still seeing their coats sold in the marketplace all the time.
How long is she from like her nose to her tail?
You know, I never measured her. I'd guess maybe 6 feet or so.
Tasha full grown.
She's 75 pounds.
Snow leopards get around the cliffs.
Well, they're just completely designed for it. With their big feet, help to grab the rocks, and they're just very agile the way they're built. Their muscles are very strong for their feet. All that stuff.
Because she was born with a handicap, Tasha really does have a lot of special needs, and I feel really fortunate that she's chosen me to be her special friend. And for 7.5 years, we've been doing everything together. I've been really helping her through life, I think, and together we really do make a pretty good team.
This is William. He's a blue and gold macaw. This is Barney. And what's your name? What's your name?
My name is Turkey Corlett.
Hello, Turkey. And that's Callie, George, Popeye, Addie, our cockatoo, and the largest of the parrots, that's Caesar. He's a hyacinth macaw.
Good. Push. Push, Tosh.
After 12 years at Marine World, head elephant trainer Dave Blasco recognizes that the park's elephant group is really a family.
That's a good girl. Well, this is Ginny. She's our oldest. She's 54 years old, the grandmother of our herd. Next, we have Judy. She's grown up at the park, been here since she was 3 years old. She's the motherly type, 28 years old. And Margie. Everybody knows Margie. She's our Hollywood star. She starred as the Bantha in Star Wars. She's in her mid-40s. And here's Tina, our most touching story of all. For 20 years, Tina lived in a cramped, caged area of Central Park Zoo.
Day after day, she paced the concrete. Her best friend was her old keeper, and when he passed away, Tina became lonely. With no one to comfort her, she was hard to handle and hostile to her new keepers. Tina was labeled a bad elephant. Then, the zoo closed, and all the animals except Tina found new homes. She was unwanted. But when we heard about Tina out here at Marine World Africa, USA, we felt her behavior might just be due to her isolation and loneliness. So we brought Tina out to California to live with all the park's other elephants because companionship was what Tina needed most of all. Now she's with Margie, Judy, Ginny, and all the others, so she's found security in our herd. Her personality has really transformed, and she's put on about 1,500 pounds thanks to all the good food she's getting.
She uses that trunk to do everything. She uses it to pick up dirt and throw it on her back, helps protect her from the sun and chases away bugs. She uses it to suck up water up into about here, and then she'll blow the water into her mouth, and that's how she drinks.
Elephants are powerful, but they are also very sensitive. They share the same kinds of emotions that we have. You can tell when they're excited and happy, or when they're sad. So Tina's story is really heartwarming. Now that she's with us, we can give her all the attention and affection an elephant needs. I hope in some way we made up for all the bad years she's had to endure. And I guess it's sort of like every good story. She'll live happily ever after.
If the park's group of elephants is like a family, then the baby of that family is 5-year-old Malika.
Malika came to us from a park in Zimbabwe when she's about a year and a half old. Our estimation when she first came in was probably about 500 to 600 pounds. Right now she weighs close to 3,000 pounds at 5.5 years old. It's a real experience watching an elephant grow up just like a child. They grow and mature at about the same rate, develop at the same rate. She's developed her coordination and her learning ability just the same way a child would. She's a very intelligent little elephant. She learns things quick, and a big part of that is, I think, because she enjoys what she's doing.
Hold the tail up. In our log area, she learns how to pull logs, how to roll them, how to stack them, how to use her feet in combination with her trunk, and do a variety of different behaviors, as well as work around the big elephants. You can tell that she really looks forward to doing all the different things that she gets to do, learning new behaviors, and I think she really enjoys all the time she spends with people. Working with the park's elephants, it's a real adventure. It's not just one job, it's a real challenge every day. It's like having 11 different jobs, working with each of the 11 different elephants. Each of their personalities is so different, and they're all great.
This is Sandy, at 50 pounds, our largest tortoise. This is Loretta, she's an African leopard tortoise. This is Rosemary, she's a 4-year-old African tortoise. Norma is a redfoot tortoise, she's from South America. Also, this is Naomi, she's a yellow-legged tortoise. That's a rock. Now this is Patty, she's at 2 months old, she's our newest baby. Pretty cute stuff, huh?
They are the oldest group of continuously performing sea lions, entertainment veterans with a natural ability to make us laugh.
You know, they have a tendency to flop and flop around, and that's part of the natural life of a sea lion. To us, it looks very funny. To them, no big deal. So they don't have the sense of embarrassment, let's put it that way.
The California sea lions at Marine World have been performing for 25 years, and for the last 17 years, the man they most respect is their head trainer, Bucko Turley.
What do you think of your famous trainer, Gunther? Tell me how you really feel. I thought so, huh? First, let me introduce my friend here. This is Artemis, a California sea lion, very special to us here at Marine World. Not only Marine World celebrating its 25th anniversary, he's celebrating his 25th birthday. Is that right? His rendition of Happy Birthday. Is that right? I got you.
This is the big guy here at Sea Lion Stadium. This is Artemis.
he knows we can get away with, and we work as a pretty good team after all those years. Yeah, okay, stop your grinning. With me today, I have two veterans performers. On my right, this is Sultan, and over here on my left, this is Gunther. Gunther's turning 25, and Sultan's our old man here at 27 years old.
I'm not buying the broken flipper routine, Gunther. You're a sea lion. Get in the water.
How about giving me a kiss right here? How about both of them, huh? You two? How about you? That's my eardrum. Thank you. Ready? We talk? All right, here we go. Go play.
Sea lions are wonderfully curious by nature, so to keep them active and alert, Bucko has set up interactive play periods, sort of like recess. During these periods, the animals play with an assortment of toys while Bucko watches for new behaviors to put in a show.
A lot of the behaviors that the animals perform in the show are actually adaptations that the animals have taught us. And oftentimes they'll come up with something that we might find, hey, down the road, that might look good for as a show behavior. So we let them have an innovative session once in a while to come up with something they prefer to do. Is that right? How about give me a kiss? Right. Not whiskers.
Sea lions are incredible when it comes to balance.
We offer entertainment, we also offer educational value to our shows. We like to blend that education along with the entertainment. People learn while they're being entertained.
Oh, look at this, folks. This is one way sea lions have of regulating their body temperature. It's called thermal regulation. They stick that flipper up in the air, blood flows real close to the surface. It'll cool them down or warm them up, depending on the outside air temperature.
And people really don't know much about them. They're often called seals. That's a generic term for the sea lion. This is not a seal. This is a California sea lion. Sultan, pay attention to me. Here we go. I know, you'll work for a fish. Yeah, anything for a fish. It's pretty sloppy today.
Hey, what is going on?
Along with the veteran performers, you'll find two young harbor seals, Wilbur and Rachel. This is a rarity among performing animals because harbor seals are shy and a lot more independent than sea lions.
And I would like to point out that Rachel is ad-libbing this part of the performance. Stanley! Beautiful backflip. Come on up here, take a bow. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Stanley!
You'll also find show stealers like Stanley, proof of Marine World's successful breeding program.
Our colony has produced well over 50 pups. That's 50 pups of California sea lions, and many of them have grown up to be performers like Stanley here. So they are quite prolific, and their lifestyle is quite laid back. I think so. He looks all excited, doesn't he? Oh, hello, hello. I guess I have affinity for the sea lions, and I don't know what it is. I can't tell you what it is. Maybe it's I can get up here and I can hold them and I can touch them and I can pet them. I feel they have something for me too. I can look in their eyes. I can see they're intelligent beings. Also, they're always hungry and going to earn a fish reward there. But it's really hard to put into words how you can feel about a creature. It seems like we've worked out a companionship here together.
This is Samara, an African caracal. She's 10 weeks old and she's been here for 5 weeks and everybody's in love with her, yes. And now I want you to meet a man who has devoted his lifetime to his animals, Mr. Ron Whitfield. Yes.
And now, would you please welcome the owner and trainer of the cats you're about to see, ladies and gentlemen, Ron Whitfield.
As the director of Jungle Theater, it is Ron Whitfield's consuming responsibility to train and care for both lions and tigers. This gentleman's patient training style and his affection for the animals have earned him a reputation as one of the best-known and respected animal trainers in the country.
I may look to an audience or to a person that I'm real relaxed and laid back or kicked back in the show, but I'm really not. On back. Back. These cats weigh anywhere from 350 to 475 pounds, and they can go from 0 to 60 real fast. And so you have to be able to react and move as quickly as possible to prevent any accident, not only for myself but between cats in case they do fight each other.
Serang Kimmy up, shame and a leap.
Kimmy, up. A lot of it's just plain psychological training. You condition them when you first get them as young animals to really respect you, and I respect them.
The very first big cat that Ron acquired was a male African lion he named Zamba. A relationship was to grow between Ron and this very first lion, a bond which would deepen with time. Ron and Zamba entertained millions of Marine World visitors over the years. When Zamba and several other of Ron's big cats became too old to perform, he took them home with him to a sort of retirement home he designed and built on 170 acres not far from the park.
This is Zamba. This is my old boy. He's 17 years old, and he's my baby. He's a special one. We've been together for 17 years. I started working him when he was about 6 or 7 months old, and we've been inseparable ever since. And he's quite the character, aren't you? Woo! Yeah, you're ready to romp, huh, kid? Yeah, you want to get out, huh? You ready, Moose? You ready? Okay. Woo! Woo! Go on, big guy. Yeah, you, huh? That's his favorite thing, is crashing in the grass out here. Just like home, huh? If you'd ever seen Africa, you'd think this is part of Africa, huh, big guy? Yeah, you, huh? What are you doing? Whoa, what are you doing, huh? Huh? Yeah. Whoa, go on, huh?
Soon after these scenes of Ron and Zamba were filmed, Zamba, the first and most beloved of all Ron's cats, died. Ron's loss of his closest companion of the last 2 decades is still deeply felt.
For years in the evening, we'd go out walking, Zamba and myself, alone out in the fields. And being out with an animal like that was such a wonderful feeling, especially a lion, to be able to walk with and be friends with and give him affection, and also have him give the affection back is something that is a feeling I'll never forget the rest of my life. And just a wonderful feeling to have known a lion like Zamba.
You want giraffes? I got giraffes right here. We have Francis, Nairobi, Savannah, Megan, Abby, and Mosaic. I've been taking care of the giraffes for about 10 years now. The 2 little ones were born here. Megan right here is our tallest giraffe. She's 15 feet tall. I'm 5'8".
Loretta, kids, where are you guys going?
It's a secret.
Secret. Secret.
So what did your parents say when you told them you were going on a sleepover camp out with me tonight at the park? What did they say?
They sort of wanted to go.
Oh, why didn't you bring them?
Yeah, to see the dinosaurs.
Yeah, see the dinosaurs.
So we can be the first ones to see them tomorrow morning.
And we will be.
Yep,
Be the
I hope
first
so.
ones there.
They're right over the hill, aren't they,
Right
Loretta?
over that hill. We're going to be there.
Do you think we'll hear any suspicious noises? What was that?
It was an owl, probably.
Okay. Or maybe a pachycephalosaurus looking for a midnight snack to gobble you guys up.
Now stop it, Foster. Stop trying to scare us. We're not scared, are we?
Yeah, we're not.
No.
Are dinosaurs really real?
Well, for a long time, people didn't know what to make out of those fossils they were finding all over the world. They didn't know what kind of animals they came from. Then, about 100 years ago, scientists...
Paleontologists, dinosaur experts, like me.
And they put it all together, and that's how they identified the dinosaur. Now, there are other creatures that were not real, mythical creatures, we call them, like the unicorns.
And the dragons.
And the dragons, but the dinosaurs, they were fantastic, and they were real.
Cool. And tomorrow I'm gonna videotape them if I can just get this darn camera to work.
In fact, we're finding out about new ones all the time. Guess how many we know about already?
I know, 350. I knew that. Yeah, he's read every dinosaur book there is, but forgot to read the instruction manual to his camera. How do you set the date on these things?
Tomorrow, when we visit all the dinosaurs, we'll get a chance to feel what it might have been like when the dinosaurs roamed the earth 100 million years ago. Just imagine.
100 million years ago. 100 million years ago. 100 million years ago. Hey, where's the brightness control on this camera? What's that? A little alligator or something. Where am I? And what's with that date? 140 million years ago? This camera's goofy. What was that? Yikes! It's a dinosaur! This camera's gone crazy. I'm getting behind this tree. Push one stupid button. I'm looking at a prehistoric monster that's been extinct for millions of years. He's an Allosaurus. One of the biggest of the meat eaters. This has got to be some kind of a very bad dream or something. If he sees me back here, look at those monster jaws and those monster teeth. I think he's turning this way. I'm getting out of here right now. I can't see my hand in front of my face. Oh, there. Ooh, sticky stuff in that plant. Ugh! Look at that thing, it drooled on me. He ought to wipe his snout. Slimy. Those things all along his back. Those pointy-plated things. He's gotta be a stegosaurus. And those tail spikes, they could do some serious damage. A pond. Uh-oh, just a bullfrog. What's that? It's, a potosaurus with all his teeth. Oh, wait a minute. They just eat plants and stuff. He's big, but the really big ones were about as long as 2 school buses. They look like an elephant's foot. I gotta get back to reality. Maybe if I try to reset this crazy date thing again. 100 million years ago, I am definitely gonna write the factory about this camera. An iguana. Looks like a miniature dinosaur. Yikes! Looks like it's dinner time for that dinosaur and his buddy. There may be more. Let me have it. I'll try this date thing one more time. Oh no, here we go again. 65 million? Well, at least I'm heading in the right direction. Hello, snake. Ooh, a triceratops. He'll get as big as a tank, only meaner with his big 3-horned head. The guys are not gonna believe this. My mom is not gonna believe this. I don't believe this. Dinosaurs. Look at those humongous jaws on those things and those ferocious teeth. He's enormous. He's as big as those trees. I gotta try to reset the date on this thing one more time and get out of this nightmare. Wait, in The Wizard of Oz, how did Dorothy get out of there? I remember. There's no place like home. 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 There's no place like home.
Foster. Wake up, sweetheart. Are you dreaming? You forgot to turn off your camera and you fell asleep. There. You can't waste your batteries when nothing's going on, huh? Save up for tomorrow morning to see the dinosaurs, okay? Sweet dreams. Turn your light on. The life history of this park is really the story of some remarkable animals and the people who care for them. It's 25 years filled with memories, recollections of our fascination with the animal world. I'm sure you know that the animals in the wild need our help. Think what might be lost to our world if we don't protect theirs. This celebration with these animals reminds us of the joy and the wonder they bring. I hope you'll join me in helping to protect them all.
It is just possible that our fascination with the animals is something instinctive. It goes back, after all, to prehistoric man, who considered the animals magical and sacred. And when you think about it, that makes sense. There is something quite magical in the breathtaking beauty of snow leopards like Tasha. We marvel at the display of sleek power and the extraordinary intelligence of Yaka and Vika. Our eyes fill with wonder at the rare, incredibly colored tropical birds of the diminishing rainforest, like Caesar. The remarkable closeness we can experience with this park's amazing tigers enchant us. And who can look into the face of Jolynn and not be moved? We cannot forget her, or the vulnerable remaining orangutans in the wild. The images of these and all the animals will always be with us, and maybe, if we keep our promise to help save them, Earth's family of living creatures may also endure.